Are Yandere-chan and Info-chan related? Let's find out. Hey guys, this is Phil the Detective here, happy to make my debut on this channel, and today we'll delve deep into the Yandere simulator lore, as well as use some of my detective skills to find some answers about a mystery that some people may have wondered about for some time due to the uncanny similarities between these two characters. Now, let's get into it. First of all, I will go with the most accepted theory where Info is the journalist's daughter, since it's the one that makes the most sense. In my opinion anyway. I will elaborate on that later. I will also need to do an in-depth analysis of the journalist and the Aishi family, based on what we know thus far anyway. To start off the theory, the journalist is a character who was introduced in the August 10th, 2015 build, where it was revealed that he was the one who investigated Ryoba Aishi after a girl was, well, murdered to death at Academy High. Poor girl, that's the worst kind of murder. So, he was convinced that she was guilty and so made sure to have enough evidence to prove it, like any good detective would. The trial did take place, but Ryoba, with her incredible acting skills, managed to convince the jury, along with the entire nation, that she was innocent. Afterwards, the journalist became a national disgrace and was constantly met with disdain and hatred from people he met on the street. Some even going as far as to vandalize his car and house for about a year, when the trial was still fresh in people's minds. Over time, the hatred did diminish, but it never truly died, as revealed in the mysterious tape number 6. But little did people know, Ryoba actually was guilty of the murder and more, since she was stalking an upperclassman. Her senpai, if you may. The situation became so out of control that she eventually kidnapped the boy and kept him captive in her basement, which is revealed to be a family tradition since her mom did the same thing to her own senpai, which later became her dad. Oh my, that doesn't sound good. Or does it? Anyways, it can be implied that this plan also worked on Ryoba's senpai since he stayed, got married, and even had a kid with her, which became Ayano Aishi, more commonly known as Yandere-chan or Yan-chan. Talk about a bad case of Stockholm Syndrome. Am I right or am I right? How long has he been there? A week? A month? A whole year maybe? Otherwise, what's the deal with him? Because between the first and the 10th tape, a lot of time has passed. Almost 3 decades, in fact. So a lot of things must have happened in between. We'll see just how much in the future. I may even make a video about it when we'll have a bit more information. Anyways, since that behavior is a family tradition, it means that other members of the Aishi clan must have been doing it as well. Beyond Ryoba and her mother, that is. So, Yanderes of the past certainly did it as well, and it's more than possible that Yandere-chan could do it as well, in one of the possible endings. So, if it has been done throughout the ages, maybe other methods were used to get their senpai. Let's see how the journalist and his wife got together. In the 6th tape, the journalist said that after some time of being the national punching bag and falling into alcoholism to help ease the pain, he met his future wife. He emphasized on the fact that even to this day he doesn't know what she saw in him, being, by his own words, an absolute wreck and the laughing stock of the entire country. Though based on what you said earlier, I'm pretty sure they were not laughing at you. In fact, it's more like they hate your guts, dude. But back on track. He mentioned the fact that ever since they met, she wanted to spend every waking moment with him, wouldn't let him go out of her sight, and got possessive if another woman so much as looked at him. So she pretty much made sure that he depended on her for everything and couldn't live without her. Since he doesn't know why she liked him so much, he suggested that maybe the reason why was, since he couldn't take care of himself, it'd be like owning a person. Whatever that means. All these clues pieced together makes it pretty obvious that the journalist's wife is a yandere, since she appears to have went to great length in order for him to not be able to live without her. They even got married about 6 months after meeting each other. Well, that was fast. Another evidence is that since the Aishi family are all Yanderes, it could mean that, in the Yandere simulator world at least, being one is a condition passed down from generation to generation, like a regular trait, such as your eye or hair color, such as purple like coconut and lover boy over there. Hmm? Oh, I meant Kokona and Riku, of course. Uh, So, since the Aishi is the only family known to have that condition, it means that the journalist's wife is likely to be part of that clan. Unless another such family emerges later on in the game, considering the fact that Yandere Dev has mentioned the possibility of DLCs with another Yandere girl as a rival. So, only time will tell. I also have a theory about how the journalist's wife may have operated. Let's say for a second that when they met, it wasn't a chance meeting. She knew exactly how he was in his life and how weakened he was at the time. That way, she would know how easy it would be to make him fall for her, since he would probably need a shoulder to lean on and someone to love him unconditionally. Based on what happened, if she really schemed that, her plan worked. It's a different method than kidnapping and pretty much force someone to be with you, like Ryoba did, but it's a predatory behavior nonetheless. I hear you asking, where does InfoChan comes into play? I'm getting to it. It was revealed in the tape number 7 that his wife died while giving birth to their daughter, resulting in a huge emotional detachment towards his child. Even going as far as to say that he's pretty sure that he was a bad father. It even went to the point where he admitted to the fact that he never really tried to spend time with her or learn about her interests, which means that he doesn't know much about her, what kind of person she became, or even what her everyday life is like. The only things he does know about her is that she spends all of her time on her computer, seems to have a lot of money for someone her age, and sometimes comes home with blood on her clothing. Sounds familiar? But he doesn't know where all that money and blood comes from since he's afraid to ask. Tape number 10, which is also the last one, was addressed to his daughter, explaining her why he had to leave so he could expose Ryoba's true nature. Also, as a bit of trivia, that tape was found beneath the window where InfoChan dropped stuff for us, like the spare uniform or some medicines in exchange for favors, which means that it was most likely addressed to her, or she at least listened to it. And the fact that she threw it out the window means that she didn't really care about it either way. I mean, anyone could have listened to those tapes. They were scattered around on school grounds. If I were there, I would have listened to them as well out of curiosity, being like, oh, an old tape. Long time not seeing those. I think the gaming club has an old cassette player. Let's see what it says. But I'm fairly certain that if I tried to get involved with this, it would become a case where curiosity killed the cat. Better to walk away. Don't even think about it. I mean, risking my life for a case is one thing. Doing something that I know will cost me my life is something else entirely. To go through with what we learned so far about InfoChan and the journalist's daughter similarities, they both spend all of their time on their computer. In gameplay, we can see InfoChan at her computer no matter when we try to look at her through the curtain. You know, the one in front of the info club, and when we stay there for a few moments she says, I know you're there. Run along now. There's nothing for you to see here. But I have a question about that. InfoChan is supposed to be just a myth, yet her club is at school and anyone could just look through the curtains and see her. Yandere Dev did say that if someone, other than Yandere-chan that is, were to look through the curtains, all they could see would be a blur. But how does that work? Anyways, they also have a lot of money for girls their age. Now let's see how Info makes money. Ah, there it is. She sells dark secrets as well as panty shots. Oh my, that's nasty. I like it. Moving on. The only thing that we don't have any idea as to why it happens is, Why Info-chan would have blood on her clothing? From what we know as of now, she is not a yandere or even a violent person, just a girl with very low moral standards. But on the other hand, we don't know what she does in her free time outside of computer time, if she has any, that is. So maybe she could be. We never know. So, if we are to add up the theories about Info-chan's mother being part of the Aishi clan and that the yandere condition is hereditary, this means that Info-chan could very well be a yandere. After all, during the first intro, the one where Ayano is shown in a much more sympathetic light and is really hesitant to commit murder or take panty shots, Info does seem to know a lot about Ayano's family history, saying that Ayano will be able to kill because it's in her blood. Note that she said her blood and not their blood, but she could have said that as to not make the fact that they're relatives too obvious. But it's never really explained how she knows about it, and even if her father told her about Ryoba, there would be no reason for her to suspect that her daughter would be the same way. Unless she knows something about the family condition, which could only be known if she herself was a part of this clan and other family members told her about it. Also, if it's true, who could her senpai be? Nothing bad happens at Academy High if we decide to play it peacefully. So that means the boy she's interested in must study at another school. I also believe that the senpai and her yandere condition might be the reason why she hates Osana Najimi and wants something bad to happen to her. But I will elaborate on that in a later video, so look out for a video called Yandere Simulator Theory. Why does Info-chan hate Osana? A possible explanation. Why'd I have to sound like a freaking narrator? Stay safe, watch out for yandere girls, make sure to like, subscribe and share my video if you liked it, and in the meantime, peace out everybody.